Hello YouTube, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and Fair. I really do not get tired of saying that. So, it's interesting because, well, as many of you know, I'm a big advocate rather, for following one's divine guidance. And recently I was divinely guided to do a series of YouTube videos on essentially my favorite feline-themed or cat-themed tarot decks, which are also the cat-themed tarot decks that I own. So, but what was interesting was I realized that I had not uploaded my previous video. So after this one is complete, I will be uploading two, not one, but two videos. Anyway, it's a bit chilly tonight, which is why I'm wearing the medium weight pullover and my sweats, which it's funny because the pair of sweats that I own, actually I'll model them, so you cannot see shit. So yeah, so Nike swoosh, you know, those of us that love the goddess Nike, little flash over there, you know, they look very dressy, not right now obviously, but yeah, so I've gotten away with wearing them, with dressing them up, so in this video it looks like a pair of sweats, which is exactly what they are, but they're my dressiest pair of sweats. So, and of course a scarf. I'd forgotten how much I love wearing scarves, so I've been enjoying wearing scarves in these videos, and one day I'm gonna watch all of my videos, or at least watch look at like the different screenshots of them, so I can, well, this may sound a bit perverted, but I think I can make several more videos without repeating scarves. Yeah, I have that many. Now, if I ever did videos where I would showcase a bag, well, I have plenty of those too. Yes, actually, before I go any further and talk about this tarot deck, I am a label hoe, I'm a bag whore, I'm a scarf hoe, you know, scarves, shawls, wraps, bags, you know, those are my accessories of choice. I don't buy as much jewelry as I once did, and it's not even a matter of money. It's just like I have a lot of rings. I tend to rotate them, but there are certain rings that I have that I wear almost all the time. Pendants I do change depending upon the transiting sun sign. So right now the sun is in Libra, which is why I am wearing the rose quartz pendant. I've got to figure this out because the image is reversed. I love wearing this pendant when the sun is in Taurus or when the sun is in Libra. It's actually one of my personal favorite pendants. It's a round rose quartz, and it definitely has been especially comforting for me these last 2 weeks. So after Libra comes Scorpio, and when the sun is in Scorpio, I wear this cartouche pendant, and it depicts Khepera, who is the ancient Egyptian god of the noonday sun. Now Khepera is often depicted as a scarab holding a sun in its front. I forgot the term, and I forgot the name of the branch of biology that insects are a part of. I know that ichthyology is the study of fish. I believe so. Entomology. You know, I've forgotten. It's been a while since I've talked about this. So anyway, so the focus of this video is another one of my personal favorite cat-themed tarot decks. Now here's the story behind this particular gift. So I had a lovely friend Her name was Phyllis Rhoda Weprin. She was one of my very first tarot students, and she was also a published author. It's so funny because whenever she and I would lead a tarot lecture in public, after her book was published, I would promote the book. And I would talk about it and how wonderful it was and how proud of her I was. And then she would turn around and tell everybody about the tarot meditation that I contributed in the book, which, to be honest, I had forgotten about. Every time I would talk about how wonderful the book was, I had forgotten that she had invited me to contribute a tarot meditation to the book, and I was like, oh, that's right, I'm in this book too. And I'm like, oh yeah, right. But I forgot that because I was just so thrilled that one of my very first tarot students had written a book on the tarot. She actually transitioned to the astral realm last year, and I don't mind telling you, for the longest time I had mixed feelings about it, because part of me was like very angry with her, and part of me was like, okay, I'm at peace because she's at peace. I'm more at peace with her being deceased now. I've had more than a year to process that, to deal with that, to accept that. But the reason I'm mentioning her now is because number one, in a few days I'm actually going to the home of the executrix of her will, because she has a lot of Phyllis's things and she wants to give them to the people who were a part of her tarot circle, and then of course because she's the one that gave me this tarot deck. So I'm going to show you the matching pouch first. Wow, that really just pops in this video. This is the back. This is the inside. And I love the drawstring. Don't do that to an actual cat, because that cat will cut you like a bitch. So, this is the box. The name of this tarot deck is called the Black Cat's Tarot. And of course, it reminds me of my beloved black cat, Isis, the alpha female. I still remember after my late maternal grandmother transitioned to the astral realm, my best friend Jennifer was like, you know what? I'm going to give you a cat. It's going to be a belated birthday gift and a hope you feel better gift. And an I love you gift for being a great friend gift as well. So I remember the first thing I said to her was, well, the witch in me has to have a black cat. Wouldn't you know it, it was the only black cat in the place. The place was a combination animal shelter and animal grooming shelter, and it was of all places Bayonne, New Jersey. So hadn't been to Bayonne in years, so I was like, wow, I'm going back to Bayonne. And my black cat is of course sleeping, and she doesn't like being picked up, so and I value my skin, so anyway, so this is the back of the card design. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. I love the deck. So here's what's now I'm going to show you some of the cards. So here is a black cat that has shed its skin, and it has a new life, which is one of the esoteric interpretations of the Fool card. You'll notice the major arcana, actually none of the cards have the names on them, which is actually infrequent. So here's the Magician, and it's interesting because the Magician has symbology that's very similar to the High Priestess card. You have the black candle symbolizing the black pillar, you have the white candle symbolizing the white pillar, and of course, from a Kabbalistic perspective, in this case the Magician, but traditionally the High Priestess is the middle pillar. And here you have the High Priestess card, Trump 2. The card is astrologically linked to the moon, as I've said in a few videos previously. So of course there's a moon above the head of the High Priestess. Here is the Empress. And again, one of the archetypal interpretations of the Empress card is the mother. Usually it is the client's mother or a mother figure in the client's life. Sometimes it is the Divine Mother, as in the goddess. If you look, hold on, I'm going to put my finger here. So that looks like two kittens, which are her children. You really can't see. It looks like it could be one cat, but there's the. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing it more clearly now. So there's one, and there is two. 1, 2. Okay. So here is the Hierophant card, I love that the Hierophant is looking very much like a feline Little Red Riding Hood, giving cheese to mice. By the way, here is a lesser known fact about mice. Mice are more drawn to eating sugar than cheese. Like if you wanted to set a trap for a mouse or mice, sugar cubes will attract them more than cheese. So, just saying. The Lover's card. Talk about a stairway to heaven. I love the Chariot card because you have dogs pulling a cat's chariot. And it's interesting because the word chariot contains the word cat. The word chariot also contains the word car, and the chariot was the original car. Here's the Strength card, and here's a black cat that is petting this big lion's mane. The Hermit. The Wheel of Fortune. Now, here is the Hanged Cat, bound, and you might not be able to see the detail that much, but there is a spider's web. And suspended, I never even realized this, one of the cat's hind paws rather, is not tied to either branch. In most tarot decks, you see the Hanged Man is hanging from upside down from a tree, and one of its ankles is bound to the tree. This time, neither one of this cat's hind paws are bound to the tree, because the spider's web is so keeping it in place that binding the ankle is not needed. Here's the Death card, and if you look closely, you see that the cat is really skeletal. Look at the paws, look at the face. The Devil. I love cats, but sometimes my cats, they are possessed. I stand corrected. They act like they're possessed. Especially that one over there. Durga. Here's the Moon card, which I love that it depicts a full moon in the shape of a cat's head. Here's the Sun. Cats do love to lay in the sun, or in this case, lay and play in the sun. Okay. And then you have the World card, which again depicts a cat shedding its skin so that it goes from being a black cat to a white cat. It's interesting because my personal psychic advisor, Roger Pratt, once taught us during one of his 1-2-3 tarot courses, tarot 1-2-3 courses, that there was a time when tarot decks had 2 Fool cards. One was before the magician, and one was after the world. The main difference, actually the only difference between the two, was that the Fool before the magician card had an empty bag, and the Fool after the world card had a full bag. So it symbolized the completion of one's sacred or spiritual journey. And then we have the chalices, which are more commonly known as cups. So let's do this. So we have the Ace of Cups, which in this tarot deck is certainly symbolic of new love energy. The Two of Cups, two cats that love each other very much, going through a symbolic tunnel of love. Three of Cups, they're definitely having a small gathering, little party. I find this Six of Cups card fascinating. It's very intriguing to me. Seven of Cups, certainly illustrating why this card is often referred to as the daydreaming card. Eight of Cups. And again, notice, no names on the cards. Nine of Cups. How many cats would love this big-ass container of cream? Ten of Cups. Winged cats. I love this card. It's the Page of Cups, and it depicts a Cupid cat missing its mark, or so we think. The queens have this particular crown on the top, and the kings this particular symbol on the top, which is interesting because in some tarot decks you see the emperor is holding a sphere with a cross on the top. And now we have the pentacles. So, Ace of Pentacles. Thank you. Ace of Pentacles. Journey to Riches. Two of Pentacles, balancing the finances, balancing the books. Three of Pentacles, great works of art. The hidden treasure of the Four of Pentacles, which I've never gotten that interpretation for the Four of Pentacles before. Yes, that was Durga behind the computer. Did she drop anything? Yes. Hold on. She dropped two things. Nothing broke. That's good. Okay. Five of Pentacles, dark card. Six of Pentacles, bright card. I love this card. I love the look of this cake. That cake looks delicious. So, yeah. I find this card fascinating because here is this cat laying in a pool of water, and I would say it is an ocean because there are sharks all around that are circling this cat. And yet the cat is like, I am just relaxing, I'm chilling, whatever. This card is also intriguing to me. It's the Ten of Pentacles, and it is a statue of a cat. Page of Pentacles, juggling money, juggling finances, juggling expenses. Knight of Pentacles, who clearly had a very prosperous trip. The Queen and her vast fortune. The King and his vast fortune. Hold that thought. Pardon me. I'm going to turn off the fan for a little while. Oh, and now I'm warm, of course. Okay, so we have the wands. Look at the uniqueness of the wands. Oh, I have that in reverse order. Okay. So at the bottom, you have the wands, and you will see, yes, you'll see how unique the wands are. Ace of Wands, which I've often thought of the Ace of Wands as creative energy. And here is this cat who is painting a portrait. Two of Wands, striking the deal. Four of Wands. Looks like a circle of fire cats to me. Cats riding horses into battle. This cat looks very happy to be the victor, or the victrix as the case may be. Seven of Wands. Great success, great victory. Nine of Wands. And here is another card that depicts a mouse that is in deep ass doo-doo. That mouse thinks that he is king of the world, king of the road, king of the hill, but look at all these cats all around. And if you look, there are some cats that are clearly not doing a good job of hiding. And the mouse knows it is massively screwed. Here is another card that is another 10, symbolic of riches. You see the crystals, you see the light bulbs. You see a lot going on in this card. Knight of Wands. And this is where the similarities in the Rider-Waite, also known as the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, come into play, because in a lot of tarot decks you see the Knight of Wands with a moving horse. This horse is on the go. Queen of Wands, King of Wands. Ace of Swords, blowing a horn, which makes perfect sense because air is needed to blow a horn, and traditionally the suit of swords correspond to the element of air. Two of Swords, no matter what, we're in this together. No surprise why one of the traditional meanings of the Three of Swords is disappointment and heartbreak. This is a very bleak image. One of the traditional meanings of the Four of Swords is rest and relaxation. This cat is just chilling. This cat is like, I am going to park my behind on this bench. I knew something was going to drop. Okay. A lot going on in this video. A lot going on around me regarding this video. And here is the cat and the Six of Swords getting ready for a new journey. I do not envy this cat at all. This cat is not in a good place. Neither is this cat. I love how this card has different signs that all mean exit. So let's see, there's salida, which is Spanish, sortie, which is French, what looks like Greek, but I don't know how to pronounce it, what looks like another language I don't know how to pronounce, I believe this is Italian, but I can't make out all the letters. It could be Exilio, and this I believe is German, Outgang. So it's very cool. And I just noticed that the hilt of the sword, you may not be able to see it, is a cat's head. Am I covering it up? Yeah. Queen of Swords, King of Swords. And it's funny because in the Rider-Waite or Rider-Waite Smith, the Queen of Swords has a completely erect sword, meaning it is not at an angle, like the King of Swords. So this is actually what helped me determine that this is the Queen's crown and this is the King's orb. So I was very thankful for that. The Little White Book, or the LWB, does not have descriptions of the kings and queens. So one wouldn't be able to determine which ones are kings and queens by the descriptions in the Little White Booklet or the LWB. This deck has 2 cards that one could use as a blank card or an unknowable card. So this is the one that I'm primarily using to indicate the blank card or unknowable card. And on the back it has the High Priestess card from the Tarot Illuminati, which I don't really, buy anything that's Illuminati themed or read anything that's Illuminati themed, but I love the High Priestess card in this tarot deck. And I have a long-time client who's been using my psychic services for at least 10 years, and the last time that I gave her a reading in her home, she told me that she had this deck. So I was a bit surprised because she's not a professional tarot reader. She doesn't use the tarot professionally or even personally, but that she purchased this deck surprised me. And I was like, wow, it must be an amazing deck for you to purchase it, because I know she has a lot of Doreen Virtue's Oracle card decks, but she doesn't have a lot of tarot decks. In fact, I think she has just this one. So this is one that I've been using as a blank card or unknowable card in this deck. This is another one that I can use. And on the front it has some cards from 3 other decks. So there's Tarot of the Pagan Cats, which I have, and when I find it, I will happily do a review video about it. Tarot of White Cats. Now, originally I hadn't planned on purchasing this deck, mainly because, I prefer black cats over white cats, but I do love the imagery on the cards. And I would be curious to compare the similarities and differences between each of the cards in the Black Cats Tarot and in the Tarot of the White Cats, or rather Tarot of White Cats. The other one is called Tarot of Magical Forest. I personally was not drawn to the imagery of this deck. It's nice, but it just doesn't do it for me visually or energetically, which is why I don't have it. So when I find this deck, I will happily review this deck. When I buy this deck, I will happily review this deck. And I know that other than this one, I believe I have one other cat-themed tarot deck. The name escapes me at the moment. Yes, I know eventually I do need to make the time to create a database of all the tarot decks and divination decks and oracle card decks that I have. Not now, not anytime soon, but soon enough. Anyway, so that is my review of the tarot, the Black Cats Tarot. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have this deck, please let me know what you think about it. If you do not have this deck and you wind up buying this deck, let me know. And certainly, for me, I was very happy that Phyllis had given me this deck, and it was so funny because, for the longest time, Phyllis would give me certain decks, and And sometimes I already owned the deck, and I was like, why don't you just work with the list? Oh yeah, you don't know about that. So for people that use my psychic services on a regular basis, and who also love and adore me, or both, I give them a tarot and divination deck wish list, because I am the tarot man, so they would usually think I have a tarot deck unless they don't know that I have it. So I compile this list, and I do update it after the holidays and after my birthday. That way I can let people know, okay, so this is the updated list, and now you know what I do have, because it's no longer on this list, and this is what I don't have because it's still on this list. It makes things very easy for people. They're like, okay, yeah. So I do recommend giving yourself the whole kit, like treating yourself massively, and doing. Boy, the eyes really pop when I show it on this camera. Wow. So yes. So anyway, this is my longest video to date, but I happen to really love this tarot deck, so it not surprised that it's my longest one to date. But I thank you, YouTube. I wish you many, many blessings, and I'll be uploading this video and the previous video very, very shortly, like in less than 2 minutes. Okay, thank you. Bye.